Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called How to Legally Bankrupt Your Enemies. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, comment, and follow the show. I'd also like to tell you about HollywoodIsCalling.com. It's a company that allows you to purchase live calls with more than 100 celebrities. You can get a live 15-second call for $19.95 or a live 30-second call for $29.95. So give it a try. It's called HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now let's get started. There are more than 40 million Americans out of work in the United States. That's more than the population of some countries. These are people who can't feed their families, can't pay their mortgage or their rent, and can't do much to improve their situation until the economy gets stronger again. But is that really true? Is it true that most people can't do much to reverse their situation or improve it? Well, that depends on how you lost your job, your money, your house, or your spouse. Did you lose those things because of some tremendous economic force that wiped you out financially? Or did you lose those things because some individual, an adversary, or a competitor decided they wanted to take what you had? Perhaps they wanted to take your job or your spouse or your company, or maybe it was just your money. Maybe they wanted to steal something that you were entitled to. Perhaps you had a promotion coming and they took it. Maybe they were just being evil and random and felt like hurting you for no reason at all. Maybe they wanted to punish you for something you had nothing to do with, but they wanted to hurt you because somebody had hurt them long ago. People who deliberately hurt other individuals and organizations simply to make themselves feel better never really end up feeling better. The only thing that happens is that they end up feeling worse over time. That's why so many lawyers end up feeling so miserable and unhappy in their later years. Despite making all that money over their careers, it doesn't really make them feel any better later on. It just makes them feel more disconnected and unfulfilled. So, what can you do if someone evil has destroyed your life or your company? How can you put a stop to it and make sure that they don't do it again to you or somebody else you know? This episode of the show is designed to teach people and companies how to bankrupt their enemies in a perfectly legal way. Why bankrupt them? Because hitting their wallet and driving someone evil out of business is a great way of hurting them and preventing them from doing it again to somebody else. The interesting thing about going after someone's wallet is that you can often do so without revealing you're the one doing it. And if you hit them hard enough, they will never recover financially and will be forced into bankruptcy. Best of all, you can do it in a way that's completely legal and ethical and very fulfilling. These techniques work whether someone tries to hurt you personally or they try and hurt your company. So how do you bankrupt your enemies? The best way to bankrupt them is with innovation. Innovation is a great mechanism to badly hurt someone evil. Now we realize that not everybody out there is very innovative, so we're going to give you some examples of how you can employ innovation to bankrupt your enemies. What do you do if a colleague or boss at work is constantly stealing your ideas and taking credit for them? Well, one thing you can do is to start a blog online where you write about all the great things you've created so the entire world knows and can prove that the concept was created by you well before your colleagues or bosses try to take credit for it. What can you do if someone is trying to steal your spouse by flirting with them or trying to get them to cheat? Well, one thing you could do is to press criminal charges for adultery, because in 22 states, cheating is actually a criminal act. It is also a violation of U.S. military law, which means that if one of the people involved is in the military, then they can be charged with adultery and prosecuted under military law. You can also file a civil lawsuit against someone for cheating. It's known as alienation of affection, and this happens when an outsider interferes in a marriage. People have brought these suits and won six-figure settlements because of them. Next, what can you do about a competing company that's succeeding in putting your company out of business by knocking off most of your products? And they get away with this because they're overseas. Well, fortunately, there are a lot of innovative things you can do. First, you can Set up a hotline or a special email address and ask people who work for that company to contact you as a whistleblower and tell you about how they're breaking the law or violating regulations. You could also encourage former employees of that company to contact you and tell you about anything their company may have been doing that was illegal or irregular. Now, talk to a lawyer to get his legal opinion on all of this because the laws may vary from state to state and country to country. You will also want to know if this company is in any way defrauding the US government or the IRS. If so, you can become a whistleblower and file a suit against them that will entitle you to collect up to 10% of whatever they've stolen from the government. Now, there have been a number of individuals out there who filed similar lawsuits, and they've won hundreds of millions of dollars. Why is that? Because some of these companies, they literally steal billions of dollars from the government or the IRS. And if you're entitled to 10% of that, now you're talking a vast sum of money. Now, next, what if somebody is filing malicious lawsuits against you and trying to force you to settle these fake cases rather than pay for the legal expense of fighting them in court? What should you do? Well, first, confirm with your lawyer that it's legal to do this in your state. But if he says yes, then you should videotape everyone involved in this malicious suit. And so you can put that video on YouTube. Tell them if they continue with this fake lawsuit against you, then the entire world will see what these con artists are up to, and they can then take appropriate action. Now, bankrupting your evil enemies can be very gratifying if you do it in a legal and ethical way. It can also prevent them from hurting other people in the future. So with that, I want to say good luck and thank you for watching. We will see you soon.